to Girth and Mirth Bears on the PJ and Friends Radio Network, Dallas, Texas.
The views and opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect those of this station, owners, management, and sponsors.
If you find any content disagreeable, you may exercise your right to change the channel. And now, on with the show.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're on the air with Girth Mirth Bears Podcast. Junior's just now getting into the room. It is April 11th, 2020, and Junior's trying to figure out what he's doing. Hi, Junior.
He never knows what he's doing.
So, let's see. This is us quarantining. Want you to hold his fruit.
Wants to hold his fruit and he wants him to hold his drink while he gets himself dressed. I mean, come on now.
I licked the
spoon. I just want you to know. I licked the spoon. I licked the spoon.
Where'd you get the mask from?
Funny you should ask. So this mask was made by Vinny ATN, who runs Lavinity. He's a fashion designer who was on Project Runway. He's from Dallas.
I'm gonna hurt you.
Anyway, he's had shows in New York and other places. He's a big time man. His stuff is really, really, really good. But when there was a shortage of masks, he decided to go ahead and make masks, and he makes them for first responders, which he's posted a bunch of pictures of police officers and paramedics and firefighters with some of his masks. They're only $5 a piece for the first responders, $10 a piece. I paid $10 for this. It's got his little logo on here. You can go to lavinity.com to get it. I don't know. Do I sound muffled through this? I can't hear myself.
A little bit muffled, yeah.
Well, but you can be heard.
Yeah. But anyway, they're really good, and they also have a place on the site where you can donate for first responders if you want to pitch in providing masks for the first responders as well. Anyway, it's a good investment, and they're really comfortable. I like them. Anyway, check them out. I was just wearing this because I wanted to show it off because it's really pretty.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we go. Yeah, we can hear you. We hear you slurping your food. Today, okay, so last night...
You got your tail whooped.
That man there in the orange shirt cheats.
I do not cheat.
He marked all the cards in Cards Against Humanity, and he memorized the deck, and he cheated. And then, of course, sitting next to him, within toe tapping and penis tapping reach, is his boyfriend. So when it was
actually
this is the one. This is the one.
He would just poke me with his penis every time I was reading his cards. So
really
I know
long
which one
penis.
was his.
Sounds like y'all cheating fools.
Well, if you can't prove it, it didn't happen.
Oh,
that's what your president says.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Fake news.
Fake news.
Fake news.
Fake news.
And besides, we'll just hide all the evidence and won't let you listen to the phone call because it's perfect and nobody needs to hear it perfect. Yeah, because it's perfect. You don't need to hear it.
Oh, that's sad. That's really sad.
So, yeah, we did play Cards Against Humanity and Cards Against Disney last night.
Had a good time.
It was really fun. Some of that shit is really fucking disgusting in case y'all ain't ever played it. This man just happened to have all the most disgusting cards, and for some reason we all found those the most amusing, and so he won.
And the most disgusting brain.
Right, and the most disgusting brain. And I got to go home and kiss this dirty-minded man.
That's right.
Yay. Don't be jealous, haters.
Sorry, I'm trying to find the link. While I do this, I also send it out to other places so we get some members. So y'all talk and do something.
Yeah, sorry, I was talking, but I figured I was hogging the mic.
Yeah.
So I was trying to stop. But
I celebrated my birthday on Monday.
Steve, you look so good.
Yeah, I turned 58.
58. So after, as soon as it warms up, we're going to have a big old naked pool party. And
everybody but him.
Everybody but him.
Everybody but me.
Look, I refuse to let him get naked in front of y'all because I don't want y'all touching my man.
But you've touched everybody else's man.
I knew I was hearing.
I heard it too, but you know.
Well,
He cheats, you know.
Right.
He's a
He
cheater.
cheats.
Just watching you fight with that thing to eat the last bit of.
I don't even like
And
cantaloupe.
they call-
but
and
that
they-
makes me want one,
As
man.
the chefs say, you're eating the last bit of flesh from the melon. What, you looking for your easy button?
It's over there.
Something to wipe-
Over there.
Something to wipe your mouth with?
Yeah, hand me my.
What's wrong with your T-shirt?
That cum towel.
That's not a
Come right.
towel.
Yeah, not that you know of.
That's right. You don't.
Remember the other day when I come to use your computer? Was it still on porn when you opened it back up?
Probably.
Yeah.
The hell? I thought it was PJ all this time.
We got Keith to file his unemployment for his first time yesterday evening.
Yes. I've never had to file before. I've had a job since I was 12 years old. It's crazy. I want to go out and get a job, but I'm scared to go get a job just because I'd be around so many people.
Yeah, I know. It's a catch-22. You want to do something, but you don't know what you...
I don't really have any underlying conditions, but I'm fucking fat, in case y'all hadn't noticed. This is not 10 pounds added by the camera. It's all me. And obesity is something that is... I don't know, I guess when your lungs ain't working and you're fat, it just makes it worse. So,
True.
Anyway, and I don't want to, take it home and give it to mom, and then the grandkids come over, great grandkids, and don't want to pass it to them. Little beautiful Harper Rose has some respiratory problems and sometimes has to be taken to the hospital and put on a ventilator.
They were
already.
saying that, what is it? Don't get him with your shtick. They were saying that like 80 or 85% of the people that have died have had diabetes.
Right.
I was like, it's an underlying condition, so it's like I'm trying to avoid as many people as possible.
They say hypertension is one of them too, high blood pressure. And I am on high blood pressure
You and me
medication.
both.
So I'm fat and on high blood pressure medication. So Corona, I don't need that Rona in my life.
That's right.
So anyway, if necessary, I will get a job. I will work and do what I need to do.
Yeah.
Luckily, I'm in a situation where I don't really have to worry about it.
Yeah. You were talking about in the car that they're getting ready to maybe open up Texas.
Governor Abbott says that next week they're going to start revealing plans to open back up. I don't think it's going to happen before the end of the month, but I think that they already are trying to decide which businesses and which way they need to go. And there has to be proper cleaning procedures in place, too. So they're not just going to open things up like they used to be. People who are going to open are going to have to, I guess, turn in their procedures and what they're going to do to set everything up to make it. Sorry, I try to figure out what he's doing too. I don't know.
Me? No, him.
He's
gonna get himself electrocuted if he's not careful.
Yeah, I don't think there's enough votes going through there to do anything.
No, that's okay. It'll be a spark to his life, that's for sure.
Burn out his nose hairs.
Yeah, clean his nose hair out.
So Washington Brian, is that backwards? Brian Washington or Washington Brian? I don't know you, but hello, welcome to the show.
Opening up the state or country before this thing kind of dies down a little bit.
Well,
it's going to be the worst economy disaster ever.
I agree.
When people start getting sick, because this virus does not say, I'm taking a break, I'm not going to be around. No, it's going to say, fuck you, here I am. Because I have not seen anyone in Dallas clean streets like they did in China, South Korea.
This is true. We haven't done that.
There's no cleaning. There's no disinfecting in public areas. So this thing lingers on objects for weeks at a time. And go ahead and open up.
Yeah, China shut down train stations, airports, streets, walked around in hazmat suits with big guns and backpacks, disinfecting everything.
Yeah,
looked like something straight out of a science fiction movie. It was pretty cool and scary.
Outbreak or
exactly.
Contagion or something.
So it's like Junior's saying, we don't have a lot of cases and a lot of deaths really here in Texas yet, considering, all things considered. But
they need to close down like the bus stops the train stations and sanitize the trains out every every evening, but that's not going to happen. You know they're not doing that. And that's the same thing with the buses, and they're handling how many thousands of people a day?
Right.
You know.
So like I said, he said they're going to start revealing the plans to do it. They're not opening everything next week. It's not going to be right away. They're already looking at April 30th or early May opening nationwide. If the numbers keep going up, I don't think that'll happen. I think everybody's being optimistic about it. The death rate keeps going up. We're setting record death numbers every day.
Yeah.
And case numbers. And we haven't peaked yet.
Nope.
Texas is far away from peaking because it got here later than other places.
New York has already peaked, and it's seeing it's.
Yeah, but they paid dearly for that peaking.
Yeah.
They're still having record number of deaths, but their new cases numbers are dropping every day.
Okay, are you okay, Junior?
Something is that thing is driving him crazy.
Funny how he's no heartbeat though. He's dead.
I know, right?
I didn't notice that until you said that.
Oh, no heartbeat.
No heartbeat.
No heartbeat. So, I think the thing that scares me with what we're talking about is the fact that they might open things too soon, meaning people will get complacent. First I know people are antsy and bored and all that stuff. Not like we're listening. We still don't have a rapid enough testing, so we really still don't know where we are.
Yeah, we don't have enough response or fast enough response time to get the.
We live in a Republican state where that Republican governor really, really sucks Donald Trump off.
Yeah,
okay,
well.
so he does not want to know the truth, and so by not having tests readily available, you don't have to know the truth. We're not, and hope, the county judge here was pretty quick about locking things down, so that may have helped with why the numbers aren't spiking.
That helped extremely.
Judge
Then our wonderful
Jenkins.
Judge Jenkins.
I want to try to say something.
Okay, you haven't. Okay.
All right,
no.
Oh, so you're finally ready? You're
It's
too
about
fucking
time.
around with the
Every
mic.
It's
time I
been-
said something, you start capturing.
It's been 10 minutes you
Chapter.
playing with that damn microphone.
Yeah, but when I was saying something, somebody always started in on it. So, get off your
Go
phone.
ahead.
Go get off your phone.
Get off the mic.
No,
Little bitch.
no, you're the little bitch.
Okay.
No.
Talk. Do the show.
Give me something sharp. Fuck.
Yeah, use your spoon. spoon him. to
Spoon
death.
him.
That sounds wrong.
I know.
So, okay, what were you saying, Junior?
Oh, that Judge Jenkins did the right thing, and because Judge Jenkins showed how ignorant Abbott was, Abbott had to step in and say something because he was looking bad in front of his little Trumper. He didn't want to look bad in front of Trump. And that's why there are 7 other Republican governors saying, oh, we're not going to do anything.
Yeah.
And that their state is going up in cases.
You need to get him in here 10 minutes before so he can get.
Not possible.
I know, but anyways. But the other thing, too, is our wonderful lieutenant governor. He's willing to sacrifice all the old people to the virus and let them go. So I just really worry about him.
And that brings up another thing. Bill O'Reilly says that they were on their last legs anyway.
I know.
I mean,
How does he know?
I'm not on my last leg,
and then
but I'm not 70 either, so.
No.
Had a friend post that there were 10 million abortions worldwide, and comparative to the coronavirus. I mean, how can you compare apples to oranges on that? I mean, people who do abortions in other parts of the world, we have no control over. That's stupid. Anyway.
Wait, we didn't want to interrupt.
You can speak.
Oh shit! We didn't want to interrupt. We were put in our place, Junior.
So yeah, I get mad whenever people throw in other things and try to compare the flu or the things. Oh, there's more auto deaths every year, but there's safety regulations put in place for autos, airbags, and seatbelts and stuff. And then as abortions, actually our abortion numbers have dropped every year for the last 3 or 4 years as far as the country is concerned. But if you're going to compare and say, well, stop abortions, then, there's more gun deaths than there are corona deaths too, so let's stop guns, If you're right.
NRA doesn't want to hear that.
Okay,
nobody wants to hear that,
so-
and I don't think they should take people's guns away from them, but if you're going to compare one,
This is true. But I also, speaking of guns, I saw where the NRA is laying off some of their people because their business is declining such.
I've heard that they were suing some stores for closing during the or being forced to shut down. They're suing the state, I think, for
Well, the cannabis producers are also saying, "Hey, where's our money?" That's true because apparently no one's got money to buy cannabis, so they're hurting. But isn't that considered agriculture? So wouldn't that be?
Well, I heard the cannabis business.
What's up?
Everybody was buying it
Well-
because a lot of these places people have medical cards, and so that would be considered essential.
I don't know if that would be insurance,
And
but they got to pay for it, right?
When all the shortages first started with the paper and stuff, I saw on several news sites where they were showing the lines at the gun stores. They said ammo sales and gun sales have went up because I guess people are expecting the apocalypse and people to break in their house and steal their
Walking
paper.
zombies and
They're gonna come get my toilet paper.
So what? Since the shelter in place, which we're not listening to, since the shelter in place, what do you miss the most?
The first 2 weeks, and I didn't really miss nothing. But the other day, I wanted to just go to the movies or go out to. I wanted, especially on his birthday, I wanted to go somewhere.
Right.
yeah.
And
What about you?
Crickets.
I see a lot of people saying Mexican food. They just want to go down to a Mexican restaurant and sit down and get endless chips and salsa.
Okay, we're gonna end the show right
Chips and
fucking
salsa.
now.
Right there.
I've seen a lot of people say that they miss chips and salsa.
Baby, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You don't look it.
Nothing's where it's supposed to be.
Well, I didn't know.
Good
there was-
afternoon, James and Carlos. How are y'all doing?
Hi,
Thanks
guys.
for tuning in.
Is James and Carlos on?
Yeah.
Really?
James always watches, and Carlos is always on.
Is
at
Carlos
least part of
working
the show,
today?
if not all the show, because he's usually working and driving.
Well, Carlos can't drive and work at the same time, so.
Well, that's what he does.
So, and what do you miss?
What do I miss? Being able to get out and I'm a homebody, but I'm not that much at home.
Right.
And I like to be able to go to the store or go somewhere and do something, go out to eat.
But you have 3 roommates,
I have
which
3
which is
roommates.
different. And, it's not family members, so this has got to be a challenge with you all being on top of each other.
Well, yeah, that's like the water incident a couple weeks
Yeah,
ago.
but was that part of this or no?
It
led into this.
Not really, but it was just before it.
Right.
It's, it's
So you got to look at the people that ruined your life.
yeah, it's like
No, it's like the other day. It's like for the first couple of days it was okay. For the first week it was okay, and now it's like I keep wanting to say let's go out to eat. And I want to say let's go to
Somewhere.
and we can't. It's like yesterday it was beautiful outside. Of course it's Friday. He was working, and I still get called out to work once in a while. So I never know if I'm going to be off. But yesterday was beautiful, and I was like, oh, good. Maybe this weekend we can hop in the car and just take a drive, because he's got the new car with the one that's got a sunroof, and then it's got that other roof in the back that just got the
Right.
Of course, now it's looking like it was like misleading because this morning was so beautiful outside. I was like, oh, if this could last, if this could be one of the days the weathermen were wrong, do we need to like? Okay.
hey, that's mine. Back off.
I don't see your name on it.
Don't fuck with Steve. Beers.
You haven't looked.
But
Wait, what I missed?
I said he would. Never mind.
Never
Watch
mind.
the video later. Watch the replay. Watch the replay.
I'm not gonna do that. I can't stand these guys, man.
Oh right.
Yeah.
No, but see. I think I miss getting out and
But hey,
and
both of you.
socializing. You know what I mean?
Now I'm pitching a tent.
Of course, the only thing we ever did was eat, which is not good for fat guys. And so all we ever did, we'd be at dinner saying, what are we going to do for breakfast tomorrow?
Yeah.
We'd be at breakfast. What do you want to do for dinner tonight? I'm like, what the fuck? But now I'm like, fuck, let's go out to eat. I'll take anything.
I miss it so much. I want to go to Poor Richard's.
Poor Richards. Yeah.
I need some French toast and eye candy.
Yeah, we want to go to your house and swim in the pool. You had a bit of a sunburn the other day, a mild case of redness.
I did.
That or you were really embarrassed.
I wore the tank top whenever I was mowing. And I don't know how I didn't end up with the little stripes and the marks right here.
What are you looking for?
Where's the yellow cord? Where's the yellow cord go to?
It's
but I was
it's not being
mowing
used
and
right now.
weed eating, and then it
goes over there first when we have 6, 7. We got up to 8 people in here.
I actually jumped in the pool for about 15 minutes, and the water was 69 degrees. It was really cold.
Hey.
Man's got a double D there.
Don't be
And pancake sauce or
Don't be
Oreos.
throwing
I got
stones.
moves.
Don't be throwing stones.
Okay, so all right. So who has been watching Harlequin?
I haven't saw any of the new season yet. I watched all of season 1.
Spoiler alert. We have.
Careful, he's got a sensor somewhere. I don't know where though. I did that once where I punched him in the arm, forgot the sensor was there. And that would just
Oh no, that was going to be a headshot, man.
Oh, okay. Well,
Right in the back of the skull.
no, that's the moneymaker. Don't hit him there.
Back of the skull.
That's a moneymaker?
Yeah, he's cute.
No wonder he's...
Don't
Hey.
cast stones. Don't cast stones.
Hey!
You know, if you
I love that man.
That's okay.
Don't cast stones.
You can love him all you want to. I love this one next to me, but you know.
you can punch them in the back of the skull and it crosses their eyes.
He loves
man.
you.
It fucks with your vision a little bit. Oh, I know.
So you had a little bit of redness. So you that was out mowing the lawn, and you had your. Now I thought you said taint top.
You bitch.
So
what is that?
Wait.
I want one.
The other thing you were talking about, was it yesterday or today? I don't even want to go. I'm going to go there. Clits that look like penises.
Yes, that's the thing.
So
Okay,
he
I'm
used to
not-
be
I'm
straight.
not gonna hold
He
his
used to
hand.
be straight.
I was never straight.
And according to Kenny,
But
you're
I have
bi.
fucked a lot of women,
According to
but-
Kenny, you're bi.
Right.
So this was disgusting.
So I don't remember what the name of the video was because it's been way too long ago. But they're basically hermaphrodites. Whatever. They
Hermaphrodites.
bitches with both. You know. And anyway, they have like little penis heads.
like a Venus flytrap.
Like a clit, but a penis. Right.
All right,
Anyway, so there's a vagina there, but like on top of it is a real small penis, so it's like a clit.
That's a mangina.
No, you're a man. You have a mangina.
I will beat the fuck out of you.
How? You can't even turn your
You've
chair
gotten
around. What are you
violent
gonna
today.
do?
What's
What
wrong
are
with
you
you?
gonna- what are you gonna do?
he's on a cranky note today.
He is. He's yawning. He's cranky. Had to get out of his chair. That's what it was.
I know.
You
Well,
know,
next time we'll have it in there where he can stay in his chair.
I could just
And Joe
wire off.
Hyder says, "Good morning, sunshine. It's afternoon here, babe. I'm not sure where you're at.
He's in Utah.
Utah."
Oh,
Joe Hyder.
yeah. I don't have my cell phone.
I can't help you there.
Carlos is saying, "Oh, you guys look like y'all need a hair." It's just because
I
you
just got a haircut. Thank you very
just
much.
because you went and got a garage cut, don't mean everybody else is going to go get a garage cut.
Yeah, we're breaking out the colander later, so we'll be able to get a haircut. So
Is Carlos working or is he driving around Uber Eats?
He just never works.
does he do
period.
Uber Eats or just Uber? Does he taste the food before he
Ask
delivers it?
Carlos, do you
He
call
probably
in?
tasted
I
the
don't
food
want to
before.
call in.
Carlos, give us a call.
1-900 Junior. Got to make some money.
1-800. He's easy. Oh, I'm sorry.
Ooh.
Don't be throwing stones.
I'm not. I'm not easy.
So no, there's. I'm surprised people are still using Uber though. I mean, I guess you've got no car.
Yeah.
But then there's buses. Buses are still running.
Yeah.
So
Buses are germs, full of germs.
Germfuls.
everything's full of germs, baby.
Not like this one.
Yeah, Uber, Carlos, do you make sure your passengers have a mask on? Do they have to wear a mask to get in your car, or does it matter to you? I know you just got one yesterday. Carlos just got also one of these lovely masks from Lavinity. Lavinity.com. If you're having trouble finding a mask, you can go there, and he's making hundreds and hundreds a day. Him and his company.
$10, huh?
They are $10.
That's a lot of money.
And you still have to
Save your life, damn it.
You still have to put like another filter inside it or
Oh.
something because this is not completely airproof.
Right.
But they clean up real easy and they're comfortable. And,
In
and it only took me 4 days to get mine after I ordered.
in Kissimmee, Florida, Osceola County, they passed. Oh shit! They passed a law where they have to wear a mask as of Monday.
Ooh, we have a call. Caller, you're on the air.
Well, hello, Junior.
Are you on the air, caller?
La 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 la.
Hello, caller. Carlos, is that you?
Hello.
Or what are you doing? Are you working or
me.
what?
Okay, you got to turn that
Hold on.
down.
Yeah, because there's a lot of echo.
Turn your porn down.
Also, watching y'all is porn? Okay, I see.
Could be,
Could be.
Somebody keeps touching my penis.
and it's not his boyfriend.
That's a true
Yeah,
statement.
I see a lot of packages in there.
Yeah, well, you know, we play UPS when no one's looking. It's Junior's turn to wear the brown shirt today.
I've got your package.
I know. Anyhow, yeah, talking about, if you wear a mask, I wear my mask now that I have. The one Keith gave it to me until I get mine in the mail.
Okay, so do you do Uber Eats or just people?
Right now, for some reason, I only do people, but back in the day, I hate doing Uber Eats because people, order food, obviously, and I go pick, delivery, and they don't have, like, the apartment number or
Gate codes.
where to deliver, nothing.
Or,
So when I
or
called back the people, I said, well, I'm here in your building, but I don't know where to take it. They get upset and they give me a bad review, so I got tired of that thing. And I'm telling you, I don't want no more Uber Eats.
so
So they take it off.
Hey, Carlos, have you checked into Instacart? I saw Frank and Simca posting about that last week. He said Simca made like more money in 2 hours doing Instacart than he did like all day the following day or previous day with Uber.
yeah, but he's working
This
as
is
an
the
airplane
first time I
mechanic.
have heard about that Instacar or whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
So there's people that do the shopping for you.
Yeah, I think the store does the shopping and you just go pick it up and deliver it. I think that's how it works.
And then there's
Is
favor.
that the same thing like a favor?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it's called favor.
Oh, yeah, I don't know favor, but yeah, I guess it is.
What's the-
I need to look at it.
Yeah, ask Simca. I know you know him. Ask him and Frank, or they've been doing it.
Yeah, because
that male
today
modeling
I
gig is
get
working
out.
for you, huh?
Well, I turn on my phone and my apps around 8 in the morning, and I didn't get nothing until like an hour later or 2 hours later, and then they were going like down the street, so it's only like $2.85 on Lyft.
Shit, you
and
spend more than that on gas.
$2.60 on Uber.
Right.
Well,
So far I have made like $24 on both, all morning long. So
Are you at home right
I
now?
said, nope, I'm gonna go home.
Yeah, he went home for lunch.
Yeah. No
Yeah,
airport runs are
came here
there.
because I didn't have no breakfast. I only have some coffee this morning. So I
Well,
called James and I said, can we get some breakfast?
you are dieting, right?
So he was hungry too, and he made some eggs and bacon.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, James made breakfast for you,
Where the
huh?
hell is our stuff?
Lucky he didn't get hit with a frying pan.
I know, crickets.
Well, we're gonna let you go in case someone called you for Uber. We'll talk to you later.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Yeah, have a good one.
All right,
Take
sweetie,
care.
you be good.
Bye.
Bye.
So there we go. Yesterday we were playing Cards Against Humanity. I've actually never played. I've played a version of that. There's another one I can't remember. I can't remember what it's called, but it's a version of it. But the difference is when you put your cards down, you have to tell a story about the card, and then the person judges or each person's story. So I was surprised with the Disney version of it how adult it was, and how badly printed they were.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They were a little off center.
They were a little off.
Well, so I don't know.
Some of
wondering
them,
if you got a bogus batch.
No, actually, I was telling you when I was looking at the Cards Against Disney and the Cards Against Star Wars on the Amazon site, I went down to read the reviews, and some of them were saying that some of them were printed off and some had misspellings in it. If the Disney characters were misspelled, I wouldn't know. I didn't know who half them bitches.
Yeah,
were
that's the other
anyway.
thing. I couldn't say half the Disney. I didn't know. The older ones I knew.
Right.
But I didn't. Wait. Someone thought Pooh was purchased. Who? What?
No, yeah, I didn't think Pooh was originally Disney.
Yes,
Has Pooh
he was.
always been Disney?
Yes, he has.
Can you prove that?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got photos of that. Shit.
Yeah, we photo Disney making Pooh.
Christopher Robbins. Right.
Winnie the Pooh. Yeah, he bought the rights to that. Yeah, he probably beat up the people that he beat up for Mary Poppins, that poor lady.
Right.
Did you hear Did you see that movie?
I did see the movie.
Did you see the bits at the end where you listen to the little bit of recording that they did for her, the real recording?
I don't remember if I did or...
At the end of the movie, there's a record where she actually had them record all of her sessions, so the tapes are there.
Okay.
And so at the end of the movie, you hear just a little bit of some of what she said during the movie that you hear her, and she was so afraid of this thing being taken advantage of, so afraid of being not what it was supposed to be.
Right.
And he did lie to her though. He did the cartoons. She didn't want it to be a cartoon, but there was a little bit of a cartoon in there.
Right. Yeah, they did have some animation parts.
So, but apparently I didn't know it that they made other books. I didn't know they made other books.
Yeah.
Mary Poppins books?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yay.
I just knew the movie, and the
Look,
movie was
y'all,
amazing.
I'm Mary fucking Poppins.
Mary fucking Poppins, y'all.
No comment.
Is a Guardians of the Galaxy reference?
Yes,
right,
yes. We watched that the other day.
Yeah, it was on. Well, part 2 was on yesterday, and I watched a few minutes of it.
What's a movie that comes on no matter what you can watch it over and over and over again?
Hangover.
Really?
That movie's fucking hilarious, and
Okay.
I laugh every time I watch it. Man, it's so fucking.
What about you?
Any action film.
Any action film?
Any action film. Anything from Fast and Furious to John Wick to... I'll just sit and watch. And
Now, let me ask you, if you're watching a movie that let's say you come across like on regular TV, but you have it either on whatever, digital download, or do you stomach the commercials, or do you wind up saying, I got to switch?
Well, since I don't have that I have to go with the commercials.
Oh, you don't have it? What do you mean you don't have it?
I mean, I don't have it.
Well, the other day
You don't have Disney Plus?
No, I don't have Disney Plus. I have.
Well,
Yeah, you do.
I have Disney, but not DC. That's what it is. I don't have DC.
So the other day Steve was flipping through the channels, and he stopped on Black Panther on TNT, and I asked him why you have Disney. You can just flip it over to Disney and watch it without the commercials.
Wakanda forever.
See, that's what Junior does. Junior will, and I feel bad for him because then he starts watching. I don't know if he forgets that there's a commercial, but I'm like, why? And I can't say anything because he gets mad at me. So I just sit there and wait for the commercial. And I'm saying, we own this movie. Why are we? Or we have a service that I can't.
And
say
then when the commercial
I get
comes
corrected.
on, what do I do?
Motherfucking commercials.
Yeah, but nowadays it's easier.
PJ, get me a soda. Get me a drink. Give me
because
this.
you do have it downloaded, you don't have to get up. Whereas before you had
Yes,
the DVD,
there was a DVD,
you would have
yes.
to get up and change.
The other day, we were watching Taken, the series Taken that what was it? Spielberg did, and I think it was in '96.
Right.
And so here's the thing: I'm having a hard time watching stuff that is older, simply because of the fact that the effects now are so much better. And there was a candy cut. It was a cookie cutter method how they made movies or any TV show in its 80s, 90s, and so on. Now it's a little different now because of how effects are, and we expect more. I mean, I don't know if you watch NCIS or any of those kinds of things.
Yes.
You couldn't get away with while they have some emotional crap in there. There's a lot of action. They're blowing shit up all the damn time, and so now you look back at Knight Rider and his car. Okay, so you basically speed. And you jump over shit. It's like Duke of Hazzards for white people or for non rednecks.
Right.
And then you can't watch Dukes of Hazzard anymore because of the flag, because that's racist. So I'm like, oh, okay. Well, not that I watched it anyway. The only one I liked was what was it? What was the guy, the judge's name? The
Boss Hog.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bo and Duke were better.
I would totally have
What?
Bo and Duke.
And Uncle Jesse could have
Get
got a
out.
blowjob too.
Uncle Jesse.
I like the overall thing. It's
Uncle
just
Jesse.
farmers and overalls.
Yeah. But so now I'm stuck. I like the newer. And we've seen Justice League, right? The movie. Now there's Justice League War, which is the cartoon version of it. Okay, and then they have something Atlantis, which is the one where they introduce Aquaman after and I would rather that they make a full-length animated movie of some of this stuff than some of these live-action ones because they can do it better. It's like they really... I want to see what Snyder had. And it's supposedly like 90% finished, but there's probably about $40 million of shooting that needs to be done for it to be done.
Right.
But apparently some of the actors have seen it, and there's like a cut, and he owns it, he has it, and he every now and then releases pictures from it. And you remember some of the scenes in the trailer, they show like a super person sort of hovering over something, and people think it's Supergirl because it doesn't look like it's muscular like. And apparently there was talk of Green Lantern being in it and all this, or at least make an appearance or something. And of course that never happened because something happened. They say he had a death in there or something, but I think there was just a creative difference, and the studio did not want to spend the money that would have cost to do it.
And I think it had too serious of a tone again, like some of the other ones, and they wanted some humor added to it.
Well, the humor wouldn't have been bad.
Well, because the Marvel movies all have the humor in it, and they were going more towards the Marvel thing.
Junior, I love you, but if you don't want to be here, don't come in here anymore.
Are you firing me?
Yes.
Yes.
You're the star of the show.
Well, no,
we'll get
it's
a
like
new-
you
we-
just
Not
ignore
acting
us.
like the star.
We
of
can
the
get
show.
a
you
new
just ignore
star.
us.
That's not a big
You just-
problem.
yeah, we can get a big clock like Flava Flav and just make it a star.
So you're firing me, huh?
No, babe, I'm not firing you. You're my love. I would never fire you.
Okay, I'll fire him. How's that?
Let's say I'll do
You're
it.
fired.
God
Yeah,
damn.
I hired an efficiency expert, and here it is.
You two don't count.
Oh.
Yeah, I believe we were just
So-
put in our place.
So-
we've just been told where. I got a news flash for him.
I would love to see what it was supposed to be, and I think there's going to be a time where they do release it. I think there's going to be a time where they spend the money to finish it, because there's too much of a want for it, and I think it's a moneymaker. Especially now, here's the thing: what's his name? Ezra Miller, the guy who was playing Flash. He got into some legal trouble in Iceland.
Really?
Yeah.
For what?
He was in a bar. It was recently, very, very recent. And I know what worries me is I believe they were in the midst of making his movie or in the beginnings of making his movie. But all one of the questions last night was rub someone's. How do you get the lantern come up? The genie come up. What do you rub? There you go. So he got. Apparently, there was someone that kept talking to him, and got obnoxious. And apparently, first. It's a PR nightmare. I'm sure they have a morality clause and all this. I'm thinking, oh man, don't fuck it up, because don't give them another reason not to have another movie. Here's the thing: I don't think that Flash was a great Flash anyway, only because they made him out to be a clumsy fucking idiot.
Yeah.
He kept tripping over his own 2 feet, like he didn't know what he was doing.
And one of the Flash persons died.
What?
16-year-old.
Oh, that was from the TV show.
The guy that played young Barry in one of the
he
passed
died.
away.
He was like 16 years old,
Yeah.
and that was just amazingly.
So I loved how they did TV Flash. He was unsure of himself at first, but of course, the later seasons where he's more control of his power and he's learning stuff and he's really good. He always takes everything onto himself. Oh, I gotta do it all. And then every season they all show him that he's not alone. But it seemed like that just happened a lot.
Yeah,
too.
they're beating that to death. They are
Right,
beating that to
right.
death. And I was kind of hoping that they keep creating new series, and I thought there was a period of time where they were going to have like a one series where it wasn't going to be like focused on one character, but they would have a run of storylines with one character and then be able to switch to another. And so this way, instead of starting new episodes or new franchises, one of the things that I thought was hoping they could do, I know they won't do Shazam because Shazam is a movie, but because he made all those other people have their own storylines.
Right.
It's like.
So did that happen in the comics? Are you familiar with?
It
Shazam
did
in the
eventually.
comics?
I know.
So,
It did eventually. All
right.
They did do that eventually, but I can't wait. Now that was in the process of being made, and they were in a rush to have the second Shazam made because of the children growing.
They said Henry Cavill signed on to do Shazam too.
Well, it's going to be like a minuscule thing. It's not going to be like some major part.
Right. Well.
And then there was some talk about then the next talk was going to be about what was this? The Rock doing Adam.
Oh, Black Adam, right?
And Black Adam then was going to do something with Superman. Before, and mainly because of star power, but also I have a hard time with the guy they chose to be Shazam. I mean, it's okay, but I guess for the kids factor,
He's great.
it was safe for a lot of kids. You know what I mean? He was funny. He was wasn't awkward, but he was learning. The things that they did where they bullet immunity and this immunity and hyperspeed, avoided using any terms that had already been used in the they made it trying to like force a kid to be cute by saying something cute
and kid friendly.
Yeah.
So he's another one I would like to see come into his power. So when he is Shazam, he's not full of doubt. And don't know how to do it.
They sort of took a jump, didn't they? Because at the end of the movie, where they bring Superman in, I brought another friend with me. I hope that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, first these other guys are already
established.
Well, no, these other guys are already heroes because they now can turn into
Oh, yeah.
So, and I guess you still have star power. You still have your like, oh wow, your googly eyes for your idol or whatever. And so when he comes on, it's kind of like that was shot out of sequence because they're all sitting around but they're no longer the necessity of having Shazam show up to back him up or make him look cool. You think that would have overcome with the fact that now I can be cool whenever I need to be cool.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, they're still so brand new. They're not Superman.
Yeah.
Superman
So
saved
I'm
the world.
curious though. Does his
Superman.
do they tell their parents? You got how do you not know? I mean,
Well,
all the
Spider-Man
lightning
didn't
holes in the roof.
Spider-Man didn't tell.
You're grounded.
She found out.
She found out, but
She
he
walked
didn't
in on
tell.
him. Moms walk in when you're doing normal things.
Well, that was
Right.
in the
Mom,
movies.
this is something, I'm masturbating. I was not putting on a spider suit. I don't know.
To accidentally shoot some web in her eye.
Yeah.
It's just come. It's just come, Aunt
Peter
May.
Your
It's
Peter
just come.
Tingle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Peter
And then
Tingle.
talking about upcoming movies, they're supposed to be doing a new Avatar.
The problem with that
been-
is they waited too fucking long.
That's been in talks forever.
I know it says 2022.
Joshua McClure is watching. Hey, Josh.
But
Josh.
Cameron,
Jeffrey Ivins, the
today's his birthday.
it is his birthday. Happy,
Happy
birthday,
birthday,
to
Jeff.
you.
Happy birthday.
And he was
Happy birthday
Where you going?
to you.
again.
Well, hey,
Happy
He
birthday.
got fired, remember?
That's right. He's storming out. So
I'm totally taking this chair.
don't do that.
don't sit in my chair.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm
I'll sit in it.
Y'all don't sit in my chair.
Okay.
I'm going to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Want me to help you up?
I got it. First one sits in my chair.
Leave in.
Don't.
What's the stain on this towel?
Oh, stop it! Oh my God!
What?
Nothing.
I can put
So
one
no,
on
but so here's the thing, though. There's a lot. I like what they're doing, but they fuck it up.
Well, they took how many years to restart the Star Wars
And that's
series?
the other thing, restarting the shit.
Yeah,
Don't restart shit all the time.
They restarted the Star Wars series for the new generation that didn't have the original Star Wars, and I was like,
Well, they're saying the Rain Johnson one really fucked it up, and I think I agree.
I mean, they did it out of order, and
Because Rain Johnson's version was just basically the first Star Wars all over again.
yeah.
Well, so was Force Awakens. I mean, they had.
Isn't that the one he did?
No, that was J.J. Abrams. He did the.
Okay,
Last
so the very
Jedi.
first one.
He
Okay,
did the Last
very
Jedi.
the very first one was
Yeah.
the repeat.
Right.
With
And
just the
it's-
same damn storyline.
Yeah.
And
it
that's
was.
like the what is it? Oh crap, had it and I can't remember now. Anyways, we'll come back to that one later.
Well, and the other thing too is too bad she passed away, but I would love to learn more about her training because apparently with the last one, if you haven't seen the movie, then fuck off. Okay, turn the channel, go somewhere else. I don't care. At the end, she's what's her name? The girl's training.
Carrie Fisher.
Ray?
Oh,
No, the other girl,
Ray.
Ray says yes, master, to her because she's training her.
Right.
So there's a whole universe there that would have been so cool to figure
Yeah.
out what she knew, how she knew it, did she use it? She had her own lightsaber. That was fucking cool.
right.
It's like having a dildo, I guess. Everybody has every Jedi has a dildo.
I thought she had Mark Hamill still.
She did, but she also this is
the
Leia's
end, she had her own,
lightsaber.
right.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
And so I think she had Leia's, and then what's his name? I want to call him Jethro, but it's not Jethro.
I've been off for an hour.
Kylo Ren.
Have you been on? Are you tired? Are you tired?
Yeah,
Well, go sit down.
I am.
All right. I mean, you're not contributing anyway.
Stop it.
You hungry?
Before you did that.
Oh, hey, baby, I won't mind. I'll sleep better. threaten me, buddy. It won't work. Anyway,
Our star apparently has decided not to reappear.
Elvis has left the building.
We miss you, Junior. Come back.
Say power. So yeah, he's
Come on,
right.
power.
So, would you be interested in seeing the Snyder version of Justice League, or do you think it matters at this
I
point?
would watch it. I definitely would. Just to see how different it is.
Well, it's like from Batman vs Superman, that dream sequence with Flash. You know, that went unanswered because we went into another direction. What are you doing? Who are you chatting with?
Nobody.
Cheating.
I was
My
just
phone had just
I was
blacked
just
out.
reading Carlos's message to me that I hadn't seen.
Oh. So, what's something you'd want to see that hasn't been made, or that you'd like to?
That's where I was gonna go a minute ago, and I what was this here? I can't remember.
So in DC, I would love to see Lobo.
Who's Lobo?
Oh man.
I know the name. I don't
See,
know
that's the thing. I'm
series.
not a very good. See, that's the thing. Junior's got like tons and tons of comic books, and I've never was in the comic book. I want to see the movie. I want to see the action. So
Right.
it's hard for me to watch it and get excited about a frame. But I know there's so many people love that stuff.
So Lobo's the last Cesarian. He's kind of like a space biker, man. He's got a big space hog Harley that he rides across. He's a bounty hunter. Somebody paid him to whoop Superman's ass.
Oh,
and
did he do it though?
He did whoop Superman's ass while he was drunk. I mean, he was like had a bottle in one hand, was beating Superman's ass with the other hand.
I might have to look that up.
That happened in the Omega Men series. I forget what numbers, but if you Google Lobo, Superman, Omega Men, it'll come up.
Right.
I used to have them, maybe do still somewhere. Anyway, that was a great story. And then all his little individual books, you know, because he had I don't know if he ever had a long run story, but he had a lot of like 4 or 5 parters, like Lobo versus God, and Lobo
See,
versus.
that's something that when they were talking about the TV shows, where they were going to have like one show where it was sort of like a where they could have mixed matches, or they could have one-offs, or without having to create a whole series for a bunch of them, they could have a short run like movie of the week, where they have like a small serial of like 4 or 5 episodes or 6 episodes, or a season, and then the next season would be somebody else, and maybe they could cross those guys over. Yeah. I was really hoping they would do that, because that would give them so much more they could work with, because there are so many characters out there that they're not even touching.
That was one of the things I liked about the X-Men comic books when I first started reading them, you know, because they were all, you know, they got their powers when they hit puberty. There wasn't no big main event. But anyway, they all had their own storylines and their own history and their own past, and some of the issues would be focused on Iceman and some on Storm, and they're all, you know, they would keep you up to date on what's going on with the other characters, but some of the stories, they were focused on one or the other characters, and you just didn't, it wasn't the X-Men saving the world every single episode.
Like I've got Junior watching Young Justice now, and Young Justice came out several years, well, 4 or 5 years ago, and then they had the writer, something happened, and they stopped. They did Green Lantern, and then they did that series, and then they stopped it. And then when they started with this streaming thing, they started up that series again. Mm-hmm. And so now there was like a gap. There's like a 3 or 4 year gap between the seasons. And so now he's just on season 1. But now they're interwoven. You know what I mean? There's continuity. What happened 3 episodes ago matters now. Mm-hmm. And so I get that it makes it a problem for them to show one-off movies like the old Superman from the 60s, 50s, and 60s. One episode. Very rarely did it cross over. I was surprised, and I didn't realize this as a kid, that in the Batman series from the 60s, they did have one crossover with, what was his name? Kato.
Bruce Lee?
Yeah, Bruce
the Green
Lee.
Hornet.
Yeah, the Green Hornet. And that was like the first crossover ever.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't know, because I wasn't big on comics. I didn't understand, you know what I mean? But I thought this was really cool, you know. So, yeah, I mean, I think, especially for the TV shows, the crossovers are a big deal. Mm-hmm. I just wish they would do more mini crossovers. You know, I really wish they would call upon each other. And now they're all in the same universe, so I don't know.
Yeah, and the one I would like to see as excuse me, as a movie, and I can't even think of the name of the show, is the Time Travelers, the ones on, it's a TV series right now. No?
Doctor Who?
No, I would love to have that as a movie. That'd be great.
I think they're killing that. I've
never watched it.
Never a big Doctor Who fan.
Right.
Oh yeah.
But I would get into some of the each season had a storyline, and I would get wrapped up in it, and I'd want to see what happened.
Yeah.
But I would not be upset if I didn't miss an episode.
Yeah, I've missed so much of the last 2 Doctors, so it's like I'm way behind, and I need to catch up. But
I don't think. I tried to watch it since they turned the girl over, and it just it doesn't seem. It has nothing to do with her. It's the writing. She only reads what's on the page. You know, so it's not like. I just think something's changed.
Yeah.
And I'm not. They're not hooking me. You know, and sometimes I get hooked hard. And this is one, like I said, I could watch an episode and miss one and not worry about it. But nothing has got me interested in this one. I've tried. I really did try, but I couldn't watch it.
Legends.
The Legends of Tomorrow?
The Legend of the
Yeah.
I would like to see that as a movie or a series of movies.
Same people playing the characters?
I don't care if same
Well,
people
see,
playing
the thing
people.
is about
I
that.
think it'd be neat, though.
They have a couple of cool things going on with that. One of which is if you remember from the old 70s TV show that you had ISIS. And so they had a lot of things associated with pendants and amulets. And there's a girl that has the exact amulet, so it is the ISIS amulet. But they don't pay any homage or any attention or anything to it. And I'm like, you're fucking it up for me. You know, I mean, I know the young kids may not get it, but I do.
Yeah.
And so please,
don't just have it there as an Easter egg.
Yeah,
but it's
fucking
there.
do something with it, man.
Yeah. It's there. They can do something.
You know, even in the Justice League Unlimited from many years ago, they at one point had Wonder Woman spin to turn into Wonder Woman. Just as it was cool, you know. And so anybody that knew for the old 70s Wonder Woman would know what that meant. And now they play it all the time on MeTV, but it mattered. I mean, I'm like, oh, that's so cool. And even when they did this last crossover, when they went back to Smallville, there was one time before the crossover where they sort of went back to Smallville for something else. Can't remember what it was. They were going through time and they hit Smallville, and the opening credits, it's like a 10-second thing. Boom, the save me, and then the view over the farm and all that was the same. And it's like, oh, but it was a 10-second. He's like, oh, what a, you know, it was like it was like a really bad porn.
Got you hard, but
And
then
it's like,
take you to the finish.
But then they go back and they got that other girl that played Lois Lane, and now they're married. He's given up his powers, but just because he gave up his powers, his body is still more dense than any humans. You know what I mean? And so even though he gave up his power, he was still strong. I mean, not, you know, so he just punched Lex Luthor in the face. But see, they gave you stuff for that.
Yeah.
You know, they rewarded you for that. And now, you know, they don't, I don't know. I never got into Arrow because it just was martial arts.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I like Arrow, but he's just like another Batman to
That's
me.
exactly
He's
it.
just a rich guy with a bunch of stuff. Only
Batman did it better, though.
Batman did.
He
do
had
it
cool
better.
cars and young boys.
And young boy. So now Marvel characters that I would like to see done, and there's been a lot of talk lately about Moon Knight, especially they were talking about a series for Netflix, but that's not going to happen now. Moon Knight would be a good one, but Namor the Submariner, I really like Namor. He's kind of like the Aquaman of the Marvel Universe, only he starts out more of a bad guy, you know, but he's just the leader of his country, you know. He's Prince Namor the Submariner.
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
Oh, dude. Yeah,
But,
he's been around since the 40s. He started in like the early Fantastic Four, Captain America.
I want to see. I know they started to bring it out. The guy that's not Moriarty.
Moriarty.
Yeah, that's
Chef
from
Boyardee.
No, that's from
Sherlock Holmes, isn't it?
Sherlock Holmes. Yeah, thank you. The guy that has the disease and gets infected by the bats, and you've seen the previews for it.
Okay, well, the thing about that, we don't know what you're talking about.
Morbius.
That's it.
Morbius. It was right there.
Yep.
Yeah, that looks interesting. That looks like a good show.
Yeah.
Jared Leto's playing Morbius, the
See,
living vampire.
Here's the problem, though. They bring some of these out, right? And if they're even remotely related to one of the universes and they do bad, it affects the stuff that the mainstream stuff.
Yeah,
It's like now I'm worried about this Ezra Miller and his legal crap. How big of a deal is this going to be? Right now, nobody's paying attention because they're all on other things. So maybe it'll blow over. Yeah. But when they do that press junket for these people going, oh, wait, what about this thing that happened? And they don't need that kind of crap. Yeah. Wonder Woman's been pushed back, I think, until the end of the year.
Yeah. Morbius.
Maybe I think it's August
I heard
right
talk at one time that I guess maybe they're going to wait and see. But if the stuff was still going on in July, that they might
push it back.
No, I know that they might release it straight to.
Yeah, I don't know though. They're not making enough money on that.
Right.
There was
nobody's making a lot of money right now, anyways. So.
But these people put a lot of money into these things.
Oh,
My worry is if they lose money, they're not going to do other ones. I wish the people that did Marvel took over DC. Because they did such a good job with the.
I heard Marvel was buying DC.
Yeah,
but I think that's
know.
the comic books, though. I don't think that's.
I find it hard to believe they're going to give whoever owns it is going to give up that copyright. That I know they might license it for a while, but giving up that completely would be. But see, one of the good things is, with Spider-Man had a problem where he was with Sony for a long time. Now Sony has signed on. Wasn't Sony part of Fox?
No.
I want to say it was because I know when Disney bought Fox, they got a lot of their stuff.
Right.
But they made a deal. So there's like a deal where now that they're going to do some crossover stuff, which means Spider-Man will be available to deal with Venom and some other stuff in that universe. And then, but now Spider-Man can continue on because they sort of left us hanging with how his identity was blown, So now it makes you wonder who's going to come in there. The one person I can think of is Strange, who can affect history.
Yeah.
And there's talk about he was supposed to work with
Wanda,
Wanda?
Scarlet Witch.
Well, the other one too. He was supposed to
talking
work
about Strange, right?
No. Spider-Man was supposed to work with Captain Marvel, something like that. They're saying her movie didn't do so well.
I thought it was great.
I thought it was good. I mean, it wasn't great, but it was good.
Yeah.
But it was like it was one-off. One of the things about a lot of the Marvel origin stories is it is Iron Man versus an Iron Man. You know how the guys took the suit and they were fighting each other. It's Hulk versus a Hulk. It's it's a cookie cutter thing. So it's always the difference with this was for her there wasn't another her. So that was kind of one cool thing. Now when they did Endgames, and they went back in time and did all this stuff, it makes you wonder. And I had to ask myself, how far back did they have a vision of some of this? Because one, did they have to go back and reshoot stuff? For example, like the part where Bruce Banner, the Hulk, meets what's her face from Doctor Strange's world. Now I have to assume that was filmed for this for Endgame's movie, but and it's kind of cool where now she says, well, that's 5 years in the future. You're 5 years too soon. Yeah. So that means she knew all this stuff was going on or going to happen.
Right.
So it really makes you wonder, movie making wise, how much do they do in advance? How far do they just have like a skeleton of what they wanted and where they wanted to go and see how it fit, or did they actually have
a plan?
Because and they had different directors, but people that were watching over this, like that one guy, what's his name?
Kevin Feige.
Kevin Feige, but there's the other one, the one that actually stars in the Iron Man movies. It does.
Damn it, that sexy motherfucker.
Yeah, you know him.
Jon Favreau.
Jon Favreau.
Right.
He, at the end of some of these long versions of the movies, they have like these little round tables where they talk to different directors, and like at the end, who you raving to?
Tony. Tony said hi.
Oh, he said at the end of they have these round tables, and at the end of what's Wakanda Forever,
Black
Panther, the guy that directed that one. Was a younger director, and so he was there amongst all these people talking about what he did. But you kind of got the sense that because of where they were going with all this, because they were all being linked together in one way or another, they were sort of guiding hands. In other words, there were certain things that had to happen.
Well, I think that's where the lady that was talking to the Hulk,
right,
where she was talking about the stones being taken out of time,
right.
That's where when he said Stephen gave the stone to him, that Stephen Strange knew what was going to happen
right
ahead of time, and he went back in time to rescue all of these
Right.
people. That would be my takeoff of it.
Right. So anyway,
But yeah, and they all, although the Russo brothers
Yeah.
directed Endgame and Infinity War,
Yeah.
I think all the directors from the other movies, like James Gunn from Guardians and the ones that were involved in the other movies, all had a hand.
But see,
in
this is
certain
why.
scenes with their
But it works so
characters.
well, and I guess people are afraid of. I guess maybe it's an ego thing. If it works so well, why is DC so afraid to do that? Why are they so afraid to protect? I mean, they're very protective. Right down. If you watch some of the TV series, like what was it, the Marvels? What was the one they did with Clark? The guy.
Smallville?
No. The Marvel TV show they had for a while.
Agents of
The
S.H.I.E.L.D.
Agents of Shield.
Oh,
A lot of that storyline would tie into what movies were coming
They
out.
did,
Yeah.
right?
And so they didn't have a great. You'll hope that people would show up, but they didn't.
that'd be another great movie too.
Yeah. Then they got weird and they went sort of off.
Off.
It was kind of like what Heroes did. Heroes went what? So they sort of went nuts, and so I don't know. Maybe they changed writers, and someone wasn't paying attention that day. But
Some of their adventures were a little.
yeah, when with the end of the thing where the Earth was blown up and half.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? I'm done.
Yeah.
And
Which one was that? Heroes or
it was
S.H.I.E.L.D. Agents?
Agents of Shield
Agents
towards the
of
end.
S.H.I.E.L.D.
I don't think they ever ended it.
I don't
either.
remember if I ever finished the first season of that.
What was
maybe.
that one where the guys were on the moon? The guys with powers on the moon.
That wasn't the Eternals, was it?
Yeah, I think it was.
They're
They were horrible. That was a horrible series.
supposed to be making a movie of that.
Well, I hope they do better.
But they have to. I mean, the special effects in that were pretty bad.
The Inhumans.
Inhumans, that was
they
it.
use,
Yeah,
and they use
Eternals
that
is what
guy.
they're
And I
making
think the
now,
reason
right.
why I had a hard time with it is they used the guy that was the bad guy in Game of Thrones as the bad guy in this one. It was basically he played the
Well,
same character.
I thought they stopped. It got canceled way too early because there was so much going on
yeah,
that you canceled it in the middle of midstream, and you're like, "What the heck happened?"
and I think that's why it got away from them.
Yeah.
It wasn't getting the viewership, and it
Yeah.
just.
But I mean, that would be a good movie.
There was a period of time before, when TV shows were getting canceled because they weren't getting instantaneous viewership. That's
Right.
before they started keeping track of DVR viewings.
Right.
And we're talking. There was one show that was a family that was developing powers. What was it? Michael Chiklis was it? Is that the guy from The Commish? The bald guy. He was anyway. They all their kids started.
Incredibles?
No, I can't remember the name of it. But
All right.
but anyway,
How
there's
long ago was that?
5 years. But it stopped because it wasn't getting the viewership. But what was happening is they weren't measuring the people that were watching it later, and so I guess the mechanisms in place to get those numbers weren't available. Now it's a big deal. Now they know how many times you've watched it on your DVR. It's like I have so many movies I buy on Amazon, and I'm sure they know how many times you've looked at it. And so they now have those numbers of what's popular. I mean, way back when, that's what brought Family Guy back. Because when Family Guy got canceled, they went over to what was it? What's the one? Adult Swim.
Okay.
And they had 2 seasons over again, and that brought them back
Right.
because they were getting great review. People were just eating it up. Anyway, we're yapping.
It's great stuff, though, man. It was great stuff.
Good stuff.
109.
Good stuff.
So looks like Donald Trump is trying to open the country up. I hope he doesn't do too soon. I don't know anybody that's gotten money. I don't know anybody that's gotten unemployment, and I don't know anybody that's gotten their stimulus check. I have
still
a feeling
waiting for both.
Well,
I have a feeling no one's getting it.
I got through really quick last night on unemployment,
Right.
and he did too. I filed my last day at work before I even clocked out the last
Right.
time, and then of course I got an email the other day saying to go on and request payment. This being my first time, I didn't know there was another part to
Right.
doing the thing.
And then you've got to do this again in 2 more weeks. You have to refile
Right.
again.
So when I filed last night, it said I had 2 weeks available, so I requested payment for 2 weeks. So
Right.
I got 2 payments already coming, and I guess next week you said I'd do it again.
Mine was on the 19th of April. You can
Now, is you're getting direct deposit, or you're getting the card?
I asked for direct deposit, and I gave them the routing number and my account number, and then I got an email saying that they couldn't find it or whatever, and that it would be sent on a card. So, it said something about U.S. Bank whenever
You use bank
They
card.
sent me the email, but I didn't. I have America's Credit Union.
Go back
And
in.
I
Go
don't
back in and see if you can
change it.
change it.
But
I
here's the
should've
thing.
done that last
once
night,
you get
but
the
I didn't know the
card-
routing number
Once
last
you get
night.
the once you get the card, usually after you fill it in, it's like 2 or 3 days later it shows up in your bank or on your card. It's not like a long time. When that means that the time has passed. That it's like your 2 weeks for your pay. That period is time that you're owed that money because that's from.
But I can draw the money off the card and put it in my.
Yeah, you should be
Yeah.
able to,
Right.
but it's probably like an ATM. I mean,
Yeah.
it's probably a fee for that, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's.
But the thing is, I don't know. It's like the business loans. I don't know anybody that's gotten the business loans.
I applied for one.
Oh, good luck.
Yeah, they said that was a really weird, hard process, and a lot of companies were having problems with it.
For a small business,
Really?
mine was easy.
No, because they were talking about it on the news, and
But you're
I read some
not doing it as
articles
a PPP though. You're doing it as a business losing income, right?
I'm doing it as a sole proprietor, losing income. Yes.
What was in the so walk me through it. What was the process like for that?
Relatively easy. I mean, they just wanted basic sales numbers.
Did you have to? What did you produce? Documents or just tell them?
I just filled it
'cause
in.
I'm sure they'll audit it later. It's
Yeah,
like if you don't
yeah.
have it, you're gonna be in trouble.
Yeah, you know. But I wanted.
But Trump did it.
But Trump did it. Why can't I? Yeah. But yeah, it was a relatively easy process to go through.
Now, did you go through the bank you're banking with, or did
No,
you?
I went through SBA.
Oh, really?
Yeah, go to the SBA website. If you have a sole proprietor businessship or a side business that you're doing business with, go to the SBA, fill it in, and see what happens.
What'd they say to you?
I don't know yet. They said it would take at least a week to process it, and then I would know something.
Okay. So how long ago did you do this?
Almost a week ago.
Okay. Well, good. Yeah, keep us updated because
Yeah.
I'm curious. As far as I know, I've known nobody that's gotten any of this money.
Well, they did say yesterday we read that the money's supposed to
Start appearing
stimulus
this
money's
week.
supposed to start showing up around Wednesday
Right,
of this
well,
week. So
Yeah. So I'm curious because here's the thing. Trump is doing everything he can to try to keep his hands on that damn money
Oh yeah.
and give it to the people that he wants to give it to.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
the people that he already gave tax cuts to.
Right. So my thing is it's kind of like these fictitious masks and stuff that he says they had. I don't believe he ever had them.
He said yesterday that there were still 10 millions of tests going out this coming week, but where are all the millions that were going out last week? or the
So
week
my
before?
thing is, and remember, he said he had a stockpile of respirators, but I don't believe. Well, here's the thing: I believe maybe they're supposed to have these things, but I believe they don't have them.
Well, I mean, they were.
If they did, they'd give them out.
Obama, when he did the pandemic response team or the
Right.
that thing, he had all of this stuff in place.
But Trump's the kind of guy that would sell that shit off and keep.
I
the
know
money.
that's just it.
Now-
Where did it go?
You remember 9 to 5? Mm-hmm. The bad guy,
The boss.
Dabney Coleman, and there was this warehouse, Apex warehouse, and all the stuff in there, and he sold that stuff. Right. And the girls found out about it, and they were trying to get that. This is what I think's happened. I think whatever should be there is not really there,
Yeah.
and that's why.
Now this is something
Why
that
is
happened
anybody asking that? Show us where it is.
in 2014 when the Ebola outbreak happened in, I guess it was Africa, South
Right.
Africa, somewhere in Africa. Obama sent a lot of scientists, doctors, and researchers, and a whole lot of equipment over there to stop it before it ever made it over here. And
Right.
it happened because only a few cases made it to America, like 3 or 4.
One or 2.
Right, and that was it. And a lot of that stuff was not replenished after that. So there was some stuff that was gone, but that was in 2014, and now we're in 2020, and he's been in office for over 3 years. And to blame something not being there when you had all this time to fix, I mean, you're already changing everything Obama did anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Obama got rid of all the stuff. Let me replenish it.
Here's the thing. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that the reason these things never showed up is because they don't have them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I saw too that the 2020 Olympics, the food that they had put aside for the athletes for that went to a food bank somewhere.
Who?
It's 8. I don't know. I just,
Was that from the U.S.?
Yes. It went to one of the went to one food bank or several food banks or something.
That would be uncharacteristic. See, here's like the bank. It's like the banks right now, right? One of the things that they're because of Trump's track record as a personal businessman not paying people, they're not what's holding up some of this money is the fact that banks don't have an understanding. I want to know for sure you're going to back this up. I know they're forgivable debts. Like, meaning if you do whatever it is you're supposed to do, you don't owe anything. You won't owe anything.
If you retain your employees or something.
Right. So, but there's some benchmarks. Even if you don't have employees, there's some benchmarks that if you do, you remain open and whatever, blah, 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 it becomes, okay, they'll waive it.
Right.
You know? And so the problem is right now, the banks, unless they're actually given the money, the banks are counting on their word that they're going to back it up.
Right.
And anybody knowing the way Trump has been, even if you're a Republican, knows you don't take anything till the money's in your pocket. And so this is one of the reasons why I have no doubt in my mind he wouldn't send the money.
Yeah, because Trump's is giving the money to all of his friends.
And if not that, he's going to say, then he's going to say, well, how did you vet all these people? And they're going to say, you didn't tell us to vet these people. Well, it's like now it's the governor's job to do certain.
Yeah.
So my thing is, nobody has faith in this man, so he's got no credibility, and so I wouldn't trust him. I'm sorry, I can't take your check, sir. Do you have cash or gold?
I'll take gold. I don't mind.
Well, you might know gold. I would probably get some graphite somewhere.
Yeah, I think it kind of happened at the start, when they suggested the stimulus package and let's just start with the first non-break of the coronavirus. Oh, no, it's a hoax. It's a hoax. Wait a minute, Mr. President. We can get rich off this.
Yeah.
It's for real. Let's do a stimulus package. Let's get this, and there'll be no checks or overseers, and we'll take all this fucking money.
Another stimulus package
right
on
behind
top
this one,
Right. Well, no.
Hey,
yeah, they found the GOP.
They're desperate to open the country up, and I think
they found a way to get rich off this.
Yeah, it's sitting somewhere earning interest, and it's like that drug he wants to try that he's got interest in the pharmaceutical company.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we've yapped enough. Junior's given up on us. It's 1:17. It's 4/11/2020.
Hi, Chris Nicholson. Thanks for calling us Sexy Bear.
We are. I love that you're here.
Sexiest.
Do us a favor. Follow us on Facebook. Like us, share us, invite friends. Invite people to the videos. And when we go live, if you would, share and invite people to watch the videos. We'd like to start getting a bigger audience. We have a great listenership afterwards. We always get great numbers afterwards, but it'd be nice to have people to start paying attention, start working with us on this. Right. Anything you want to say before we go, Keith?
No, everybody stay safe. Wear a mask if you can when you go out and you're around other people. They're saying wearing them at all times outdoors, but I've only put mine on when I'm going in the store or around other people.
Anything you want to say, you cheating motherfucker?
I am not a cheating motherfucker.
You marked the cards.
I did
Some
not
of
mark
my
the
cards
card.
were sticky with pizza sauce. I don't know why.
The champion of the world.
Twice. Well, we played regular Cards Against Humanity, and then we played Disney Card. He won twice. So
and I'm going to beat your ass again.
It's a shoe-in.
I'm going to
Holy
beat you
shit.
again.
It's a shoe-in. Oh, see, just what I tell you, got to get your man in check.
Hey.
Looks like my man's got you in check.
It was this spanking that you talked about this morning. We'll talk about that off the air.
Yeah, all right.
All right, guys. We want to thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Girth and Mirth Bears on the PJ and Friends Radio Network, Dallas, Texas.